I'm so excited to get to know you more, right? Like
Same.
the goal of this podcast, the Thomas Bepko podcast, is like, look, local entrepreneurs digging into their community, right? Like giving back, doing it, making it happen. And, you know, just like somebody like me somewhere, wherever, right? Or somewhere where we can give value to the listeners, right? Because we want people to hear about you and what your value to our listeners, right? The purpose, the way we met.
Yep.
I'm just excited, dude. I'm grateful that I even have you in my life, man. And I want to go over where we met, right? Where is the first time? Like, how did we, I know we were at the mastermind, but I want to hear, like, how exactly did we connect? Like, what was that moment where I fell in love with Mace? When was it?
Man. Well, hey, I feel the same exact way. And it's like, I feel like when you're on a journey of personal development that you and I have heavy been on for a couple years, when you run into somebody that's on that same journey that feels that moment when you feel it, you know, like with the coaching that we're in, or we're listening to somebody speak that's really hitting home. And to have like brothers with you going through that, bro, it's been one of the best things that's ever happened to me. So I'm grateful to have you in my life, bro. The podcast is a cherry on top to be able to do this with you. I remember I saw you, and I don't know what if it's because we both are tattooed and, you know, talk our way and are authentic, but
Mace
there's
got that swagger.
something about like we looked at each other and we knew that, you know, we were boys. And since that moment, it's just been cool because, full disclosure, like, and I know you're like this too. A, I don't like leaving my kids when I travel. But then B, when I first started traveling, you know, I'm going across the country. I didn't know nobody. So like first I brought Noah, my camera guy. Then I brought my wife. Well, then it came into like, yo, I'm going to see my family. So like now I come and travel, and it's like, I'm just so excited about it because nothing is enjoyable by yourself, bro. Period.
And we met. So for the listeners, Mace and I are in the same mastermind. We've been the mastermind for years. We are part of the OG crew. That's Neil's Forward Mastermind with Trev. So shout out to Forward. I've learned a ton. I'm sure you've learned a ton. We've been able to connect with us, like-minded individuals, right? Who are, you know, I was the same thing. Like we're the two kind of East Coast cats that are in there. They're still right. A lot of people on the West Coast, it's different because we're going to the West Coast too on all these events, right? So we travel across the country, and the value you pay for proximity to be around people, you know, be around people. And look, like we've connected. We don't talk every day, but we do through the gram, and you know, it's really cool, man, what we've created from that community, even within
100%.
Individually, you know,
100%,
even within the community, you know what I'm saying?
And I'll tell you, Thomas, the last thing I would say, the reason why I, on this journey, like love being around you and people like us is because I know deep down when me and you were that little kid and we thought of the pro and the dad and the husband that we would be one day, when we prioritize what matters most and still succeed, like it's the proof is in the pudding that like you can do this the right way. So then you find other cats who are doing it the right way too. And it's just so motivating and inspiring because it's that feeling that you had inside being justified, knowing that this shit actually works this way. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I could cry right now when you talk about family and, you know, husband and fatherhood, right? Like, you know, the why too, it runs so deep, and you can tell, right? Like you want to be around people that's the same goals and the same like prioritizations, how we live our life, right? No matter where we live, where you are in Grand Rapids, where I'm at, Fairfield, Connecticut, right? Like it's dope, man. We wouldn't even have an opportunity for opportunities like this, you know? And investing in yourself is where it comes down to self-help, better the journey, right? Become a better father, become a better husband, become a better entrepreneur, right? And I'm pumped. There is something I wanted to talk about too, since we're on it. They have a Man on Fire like fatherhood thing, and we could talk more offline, but I'm going to send it to you on Instagram. It's another way, like these rising dads, like the dads are really like doing their thing. They're masterminding, they're trained jujitsu, they're hooping. They said, yo, I'm going to send you this, bro. It's pretty cool. And I've been following this guy. You might follow him. But again, like I just connected with him. I hit him up on Instagram. right?
Yep.
It's not that hard to like meet people if you really want to. You know, we
Yep.
learned that from Neil. Neil said that. He's like, dude, I just followed up. If I wanted to, to meet somebody, or I want somebody to speak, I wanted to connect. How did me and
Yep.
Neil connect? On
Yep.
Instagram, right?
Yep.
And
Same.
that's so right. That social media journey is also so big. We live it too,
Yep.
and it's just another one of those things that I don't know. We see the value, and you see the value. I see the value. We understand where we want to get with it. We understand what we're trying to do with it. We're gonna get there, right? We're gonna take people with us. We're gonna coach them, right? We're gonna help others.
Amen. Amen, man.
I want to get into Grand Rapids. I want to hear Mace's story a little bit, right?
All
I
right.
do. I
Yeah.
want to get to know you a little more, right? Born in Grand Rapids, what you do, how you're in the community. I know a little bit. I want to get to know more in the listeners. So
Yeah.
let's hear it.
Well, cool. Yeah. So Grand Rapids is a beautiful place, man. If it wasn't cold here half the year, it would be like one of the most desired places in the country to live because you got the water here on Lake Michigan, and the Great Lakes is basically like an ocean. Like you feel like you're on the ocean. But I was actually born and raised in Lansing. So Lansing is the capital of Michigan. It's about an hour from Grand Rapids, and it's in between the West Coast, which is Grand Rapids, and the East Coast, which is Detroit. So
Right in the
when
middle.
I grew up, like all the like events or luxuries, being from Lansing, we would actually go to Detroit growing up. And then about 14 years ago, I came to school here in Grand Rapids, had played in a couple hoop tournaments here, didn't really like know much about the city, bro, and absolutely fell in love with it. So
Really? Okay.
amazing city, full of entrepreneurs. Like when I do, the entrepreneurship focused
Yep.
events or meetups or ideas, like the city is about that right now. I shot a promo video this morning on an event that in my mind is something that's never been done in my city. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be called Iron Sharpens Iron. It's going to be in early June. I'm capping the room at 100 people, 100 entrepreneurs. But when I do these things, it's not about me. It's trying to empower this circle that I'm in as well for us all to get together and collaborate. So like, I mean it when I say like, it's always really, really cool feeling when I fly home and I'm around all these hitters that me and you are around, right? These top cats in the country. And then I come here to this market and like, bro, it's an elite group of entrepreneurship here. And if you look at like
Yeah.
the units and things like that, some of these cats are doing, like, it is insane. So really dope city. You got the big city vibes downtown, and then I live on the suburbs of the city. Raising a family here. Once you're growing up in Lansing, it's always going to be a part of me. It's a mold of me. I still go to Lansing. I spoke in Lansing last year. I was in there. Yes, I was there yesterday. But the amount of opportunity that my kids have in Grand Rapids, bro, is amazing. Which is why even though I have a house in Florida and I freaking love Florida and would rather be down there in the warmth,
Yeah.
it's still not Grand Rapids.
You brought up something good. How have you been able to leverage the community, right? Because I know what's interesting about you is you play basketball, right? Like you have your hobby, but you're into the community, right? You play basketball. I'm sure you do events. What was the last basketball event you did? I love that.
Yeah, so I've done all sorts of different basketball events. And what's so dope is like when you are on a team your whole life, you already know that the base mold of anything you're going to do, period, is we, not me. It's we, we as the team, or us as our ecosystem here. Before I had my last knee surgery, which I am still playing again now, back from that, I hosted a charity event. I think there was like 37x college hoopers in, plus dudes who didn't play in college that can still go. So I think it was like 55 dudes. Everyone donated money, and I bought 100 basketballs from the McDonald's All-Star game, and I handed them out to the Lansing Public Schools. So that was like something fun that I just like try to do to give back to the kids. And basketball is just a good, healthy thing for the city. So
and I'm sure you met a million connections, right? Like,
oh yeah,
I mean,
my whole mold, bro. My whole mold. Like, not everybody's into basketball, but when I looked at actually the loans that my team closed last year and helped families with, and I saw that like 40% of them was from our basketball sphere or the gym that we now play basketball at, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's a good point, because that's your community, that's your people, that you said it, that's your ecosystem, and you're kind of niching, right? That's a niche almost, right? 40% of your business, and then they could have sent somebody that came from basketball, right? So you have the ones you can't count, right? That heard of you. You know what I mean? And that's interesting for me, right? Like I train jujitsu, right? My
Yep.
community is that gym, right? That brotherhood and that community, that sisterhood, that family that we have. My kids are there. I love that. And for somebody, look, who is newer to the business or experience or trying to figure out what to do, because I'm sure you as well as I do know, sometimes right now it's tough in this market. Some people are having tougher than others. Some people are thriving. But look, the true entrepreneurs, the true professionals right now are going to take care of the market share, take over the market share, and
Yep.
path their way for the next 20 years. Right.
Yep.
And that's kind of the journey that you and I feel that I know that I'm on. I
Yep.
know you're on, and we're here
Yep.
talking about it, but some people don't. So you
Yep.
got to dig in your community. We can't stress that enough. So that's a
Yep.
great, thank you for sharing that, man. I thought that was really,
Amen.
really cool. I thought
Because
that
the
that was
truth is,
really,
bro, truth is, we're all just figuring it out.
yeah,
Like the people who are
exactly.
shining in the market are the people who are trying and doing different stuff and being creative. And me and you talk about this a lot. I call it the spotlight or the flashlight. Shine a flashlight on somebody else. Just
Yeah.
do that. Shine a flashlight on somebody else and then just step into the light with them if you connect, right? And then your communities combine together. You realize, oh, we got 60 mutual friends in this city. Dope. We're linked for life.
Let's
You
connect.
know,
Let's connect.
bingo.
There we
Bingo.
go. Let's do an event.
Yep.
Let's go give back.
Yep.
Let's go sponsor, the food shelter. Let's go do something. Let's go do something with with impact that's going to help people, right? And
Bingo.
look, I've got an event coming up tomorrow. This
Nice.
event we're doing, so I'm doing the family fun fair. We came out with the fall one last year and it was a hit. I made a connection with, we have a Fairfield's Mom. It's a Facebook friends page. Shout out to Jess McCormick. And it's a community that's like big around here. And I was able to connect with Jess. Jess and I hit it off. She's like-minded like us, like gets it. She just gets it. And we're like, dude, let's do that again. She ended up coming to that event. She's like, let's do this one. So she partnered up with me. We're expecting about 200 to 300 families and kids tomorrow, right? 2 bounce houses, a bunch of vendors.
So,
I didn't charge the vendors. Like look, you can charge up to like 150 to $200. That's how it would work, right? You would charge for the vendors, and then they would go ahead and they would make their money and make their connections within the place. We didn't charge this one. I wanted to just give back and make sure everybody has a good time. I know I'm a parent on a Friday night looking for something to do. I got to keep my kids active. We go out to dinner. Like, what can you really do? Weather's breaking, so that's what we're doing tomorrow. And it's called our family fun event. And,
that's amazing. I'm proud of you,
I'm
bro.
excited to meet people.
Oh man, what you just said. So like every event I've done, I did a massive event last year with 250 people. That was the gala where every person who's ever supported me in my business journey or life journey period was invited with the date to having a full night out with their significant other on top of the city, open bar, DJ. Like it was amazing, right? And we didn't charge nothing. We took care of it. And what I told my brother was like 3 years ago, I just started going on this personal development journey. I just had met Neil, met all you guys, knew I wanted to launch my own team, wanted to like do XYZ.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this may seem crazy. And if I'm on the internet saying this, there's going to be some old cat mocking me, but I'm about to give the goods away for free for 10 years. For the next 10 years, as long as I know that my family and my bills are straight, I'm about to give all my goods away for free for 10 years. And then in 10 years, the community is going to be so big that whatever I believe in at that phase of my life, there's going to be a massive ecosystem behind it where if I truly can help people and serve people, and that's what it's about, well, then that is the garden that gets to get watered at that point. So it's like, I'm 3 years into the goods for free. It's already paid back, but like we're just getting started, bro. And it feels good to create value with really no expectation in return. And when you can look yourself in the mirror and you're not the dude who says, I'm doing this because I want you to send me a deal. Like when you're not that dude and you really are, when you talk to yourself, just feels good to give with no expectation, bro. That is some of the most fun part of the journey or the most joyful part of the journey, period, in this gig.
And that's a key point. You have to live your life like that, right? And then look, it's not easy, right? Like it's, look, especially right now, like I'm seeing even on the listing side, there's a lot of greed that's going on. I'm going to talk about it, right? Like it's look, it's inflated. The greed comes out, and it's like, for me, right, what can I do? I can only represent and help our people and our client on the business side the best I can. Look, it's very hard. If I was to sell my house, I'd probably right now, I've got a listing coming up, and on my own as an investment. But you got to price right, and I don't want to get too much shop talk about it. But
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
greed level,
Yeah.
right now, because of inflation, it's tough to deal
Oh,
with.
I'm
So you
seeing it.
gotta,
I'm seeing it on both sides, bro. You already
we were
know.
just going
And
to
that's
talk
why,
about it, confrontational or whatever we want to call
oh
it.
yeah.
But it's like in our business, and if they're listening now, right now on this date, because there's no inventory, it's driving up the price. Money changes people, and it's an interesting market.
So
But
the only thing I want to say on that topic, and I do, again, don't want to get in shop talk too much, but here's what I would say.
there you
People
go.
have been squeezed so hard. It is now translated
Real.
into how they treat others, the
Yeah, for
others
sure.
that feed their business to them. So I was in a scenario the other day, and it reminded me of like, okay, if you are squeezed that hard right now, to where the little bit of opportunity you have, you just don't even have a chance to get because you're so grumpy about what's happened and whatever. Like, you might as well stop right now, because everyone's been squeezed, right? Every single person's been squeezed, but the good people who are still wanting to communicate, that never waver off of what matters the most when it's about serving people, bro, those are the people who are shining. The people who are angry about what's happened, I get it. Has it been ideal? No. Has it been easy? No. Are we still winning? Yes, because it's all perspective, you know?
Well, dude, that's the best thing I've heard in a long time, because it's tough to stay focused too when you got a lot of that shit going on, bro. Especially
Yeah,
like with the
man.
amount of people we're trying to help, the amount of people we help. So, amen to that, and I appreciate that. For the new agent or new loan officer, if you are listening, right, figure out what you're good at, right?
Yep.
How are you different, right? How can I make myself different for us? And it's like, you hear this all the time, back to basics, right? When
Yep.
you're dealing with the new norm, we're dealing with the new norm, we're dealing with the new
Yep.
greed, everything's
Yep.
over inflated right now, next year, whatever it's called, making back to basics. And it's so crazy every day. I'm doing back to things that I did at the beginning. And, talk about like going direct to seller on the listing side, right? On the real estate side, direct to seller. How can I help you, seller? I am Mr. Broker, right? Making a direct connection with them and seeing how you can help is basically the way I learned this business 20 years ago, with calling, introducing myself on title leads, right?
Yep.
I'm not going to give
Yep.
away too much of the goods, right? But people are feeling squeezed because they're not making connection and they're not thinking outside of the box, right? Or
Yep.
back to basics, like review what you're doing, go through your days. Like, for me, self-help, want to help yourself. I want to be the best dad, the best husband, the best entrepreneur, the best broker. I want to be the best at everything. That's just me, right? I want to be the best. And that is true success. Success in family, success in fatherhood, success in marriage, success in, my success in the relation with my dog is my new crave, right? Like, I want to be like a good dog dad, dude. I love my dog, right? And I tell my best friend all the time, I'm telling him, you got to get a dog. Do you have a dog? You got
I got two
dogs?
dogs. Two
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah. I had a dog growing up. We'll get into it, right? But I want to be the
Yeah.
best at everything. And you can be. Maybe sometimes you just got to move different. You got to think different. You got to not be scared. You got to be scared, right? There's a lot to do, and just keep pushing, man. I'm pumped, man. We got a lot going on, and this shit's exciting to me. And it's
Yeah.
gonna separate a lot of the professionals from, the not so take their job
Agreed.
serious,
Agreed.
right? You know, and
Agreed.
I'm excited to keep investing, and you need to keep investing in yourself. I need to keep investing in myself to become the best, right? If I want to be a leader, I need to, if I have issues, I got to work on them, right? Like facing your issues fast, right? I'm not perfect, right? And if I'm struggling with something, or I've got to go through something, I got to face it. You got to face it head on, and to better
So can I
myself.
ask you something? I don't want to cut you off. Can I ask you something?
Oh, for sure.
Because me and you connected a similar way. When you first got into the workplace, which for me was 15 years ago, you a little bit earlier than that. But when you first got into this workplace life, right? Like the real workplace life, didn't you feel like you had to be perfect though? Like we had to cover our tattoos? We had to talk a certain way.
Dude, I changed my name, bro. My name was always TJ growing up, and I was on the phone, so it's Thomas now. And people, when I
Yeah.
moved
So,
home, they're like, the girl
bro.
yesterday, like, who the fuck is Thomas? I'm like,
Yep.
and
So
I go
I
into this
say
whole
that.
story. I love it.
I say that because the
Mason,
craziest thing
Mason,
is the
Mason.
superpower. The superpower when you
Ridiculous.
realize you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be you.
Got to be yourself. And that's when I'm back to base. Call whatever you want. Call back to TJ, motherfucker. Sorry, my bad, dude. Dude. Oh man. Let's talk about remember we connected. How's the watch? Oh,
That's
look
amazing.
at it.
I
Look
bought my
at it.
first watch ever, real
I
like
love it. Oh
I guess
man.
somewhat big boy watch, and I couldn't come
That's a
to
big boy, dude.
I couldn't come to Forward anymore with the Apple Watch on. You know what I'm saying? I came watchless.
Bro,
3 years ago, I wore an Apple Watch. And then 2 years ago, I didn't wear a watch. Because I didn't have a watch. I wasn't able to swing it at the time. So finally, this last year, I showed up with a watch because I was sick of it. But no, it's funny.
Why did you get one? Because he said you wanted to be. You were at the mastermind, right? And you said you can't go with an Apple Watch. I love that.
There's nothing against Apple Watches. I'm saying
no, I'm gonna get.
I was at a table where I had an Apple Watch and everyone else had Rollies and APs and all this stuff. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
But then I got baptized. Then I got baptized.
What does that say? Is it it is a flex. It's a flex.
Honestly, I love it. I wear it all the time. I wear it all the time. I actually use it. Like, I wear it. I like that my Apple Watch doesn't ding me all the time. When you spend money on something, but you actually use it every day, like, the value ends up exceeding like what you paid for it. It's the stuff that you buy that you don't use that you're like, shouldn't have bought that. You know what I'm saying?
Get it, dude. Talk about my expensive office on the road in my car. I live in it.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? And it's like, I do spend a lot of money, but that's the travel office, dude. I'm in that office more. I pulled over for 40 minutes yesterday. I pulled up to Cole's Karate 40 minutes early to just get quiet work done in the car. And I at least got to be comfortable, right? Even the watch, you got like the people I want to be around have nice watches. It is a flex, but you can't beat them, join them, right? That's just the way it works. All right. You pay for proximity. Like, this guy's, I did it when I first learned mortgage. I remember the guy who sold the most, he was on the board. He had the nicest watch. What'd I do? I said what he said. I did what he did. I sat close to the top producers. I connected with the guys at the company. I didn't even know there was a T in the word mortgage, right? But I knew I wanted to make money, and I knew I wanted a new life, and I was sick of being broke, and it was, but it put some drive in me, nice things. I'm not like I used to be at all. Like, now I save my money, I invest, and I buy real estate. Like, I got the watch, right? And I don't go crazy, but you got to have a watch. You got to have the whip, and then you got to invest, and you got to create wealth. You got to create free time. Free time is real wealth is measured in free time. Think about it. Bills are paid. You got to do what you want, and you got your time with your family. That's wealth. That's what I want. Right?
That is wealth.
That's what I want. Right? That's what I want. I'm a junkie. I'm always going to be busy. I'm always going to work, but I'm going to spend time with my family when I want. Right? I'm going to take the time off when I want. Right? Because business as usual. And I know you strive for that, man. Where can everybody?
That's why we connected. That's why we connected.
So what's your contact information? If people want to hit you up in Michigan, we got agents, all those clients, people want to connect with you. Where do they find you?
If you're on IG, it's just Mortgage Mace, MASE, Mortgage Mace. And then on Facebook, I just Mason Maurer, MASON, MAURER. And I'm not hard to find. I'm very open to always connecting with people. I just hired a cat on my team that slid into my DMs a year ago asking me for advice, and now he is here working with me. Like, I've had help along the way. I'm willing to give that at any time too, man. And You know, it's funny. The last thing I would say, and part of the reason why I was compelled to be with you on this, you know, a journey in friendship, but like the podcast here today specifically, is because you've been with me through the lesson. It's the same song and dance with the most successful people you've ever met that have more money than all of us combined, period. And what it is you strive so hard because you want to make some money. Then you realize money isn't all worth it. Then you prioritize your family and your mental health and all that. And then once it's prioritized, you make more money than you've ever made in your life. It's
Yep.
the same song and dance with everybody. And what's cool is that, like, even though we may feel seasoned or in this industry and like we've put a lot into this so far, we still have so much of a canvas to paint and to be an example to cats that, like, when I pick my son up every day and when I drop him off every day, and keeping that awareness, bro, keeping that awareness is what, no matter what industry you're in, it allows you to tap into your best self, which then exceeds the expectations that you even had financially up front. So, you know, I appreciate you, TJ. I know you're on that
You know,
same journey and you feel me when I hear when I say that.
that's why
And
you're on here, and we want to spread the message. And I want people to reach out, man. You got to connect with Mace. He's a great person. He's a
same.
great husband, great father. He's an entrepreneur. He's willing to help. He's one of us. So thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Appreciate you, TJ. We'll talk here soon, man.
Peace out, man. Thank you.
Peace
Thank
out.
you.
Yep.